I was watching an interview with Alejandro González Iñárritu. He's a Mexican director. He directed The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio in 2015, I think, and he also did Birdman with Michael Keaton. With DiCaprio, he won the Oscar for Best Movie Director, and also for, I think DiCaprio won the Oscar as well. Birdman won the Best Movie of the Year. I believe Birdman was 2018 or something like that. Um, and he mentioned something that really powerfully got my attention. Something that I think it's very important. Um, it's worth thinking about it, and it was like the whole interview. It's like in a school in Mexico, and they are in this. It's kind of like a hall, and they have a lot of people there, and it's more like they're asking him stuff, and he's talking about his experience being a film director and all that. But he mentioned a lot of things that I really enjoyed, that got my attention, and but there is one thing that he mentioned that they were talking about the how difficult could be, like it was The Revenant when they did it, in a very distant and cold place, and all the problems that it involved making the movie. And he was mentioning that he said that they just had to go through very, very, very difficult times in order to make that movie, mostly because of the conditions of the weather and the place where they filmed it. But he said, when you are, of course, it was a big production with a lot of money, with Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, that says all. That's all you need to know. And he says, when you are, we had a lot of problems making the movie. Say, but when you are focusing on building something that is like really big, something that that really means a lot, not just some little thing. He say, everything. You're trying to build something massive, and the little things that fall apart, that means nothing. It's just it was such a big thing that he said we had so many problems left and right. So in the end, all the problems that we had every single day, they meant nothing. Why? Because behind the whole thing, the result was going to be something that it was going to be massive as the movie was. And it got my attention because it got me thinking. I said, many times we have a goal and we're trying to create something, and the truth is that we go for things that we think that we can match, that we can create, that we're good enough to do. And we don't dare to say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna go for something that is much bigger than that. I'm not saying that you're gonna put something that is like way beyond your skills and your capabilities of doing it, but something that you say, okay, if I need to do this, and if it's this big, I can start working on that. But you have the end goal. What you have in mind is when it's something that is much, much bigger than the regular, let's say the ordinary regular goals or projects that you had in the past. When you move towards saying, I'm gonna go for something that is much bigger, but I have to separate, just like a movie that they have to do the whole processing of planning, and getting everything ready for the movie. It's just we can go for massive things that it just needs more planning from us, to saying, okay, how can I do that? And you start separating little things. I'm gonna start working on this. I need to get better on that. I need to get ready with this, and just little things, building each block of the big wall that you want to create. In my mind, when he mentioned that, the thing that came to my mind is like, you're trying to imagine that instead of saying, okay, I just want to build, let's say, I'm an architect, and instead of thinking I'm gonna build a small chapel here, I'm going to say, okay, I want to build a cathedral, something that is massive. So you kind of start thinking and preparing yourself mentally to like the kind of person that will build a cathedral. And when and you say, you know, it's going to have someone that is going to face a lot of problems, but you're going to be able to move on every day. You just have to be ready for that. How does someone that builds a cathedral think? How do they react? How is their perception when they see the problems that they're having? How do they think about it? How do they talk to themselves? How is their self-language? How is their self-perception? How do they see everything around? How do they see the people that work for them? How do they react to the problem during that day, at night, when they go to bed, and the next day, and the next week, and the next month? So that transformation that is the planning that we need to do in order to look for bigger goals. And even if that massive goal is something that in the end you don't end up really creating. When you look back and you got all the stuff that how much you changed, how much you got to do, you probably just got to do, you know what, halfway the cathedral. And for some reason you stop because you moved to something else or whatever. But you look back and you see just the halfway, like that 50% of the project that you done, or the 20%, and sometimes even just 5% or 1% of a massive project. But that makes you grow so much more than a smaller one. And you look back and you say, holy shit, how did I do to get through all that? How did I do to go to just build that 1% or that 3% or that 25%? So I think it's worth starting to look at things like that, trying to push more of yourself. And that's why I like to look at the interviews of people like this, that they have done stuff that is like really big and looks like it's a lot of pressure on them. But you say, all these guys, they can do that. There's so much you can learn from those interviews and watching how these people work. It's like grabbing their brain and saying, okay, let's dissect this thing and see how these people, what they have inside and how they react. And you notice that they're human beings just like any of us, and they have their fears and they have their moments of self-doubt, and they're always struggling because they say, you never have enough money to make a movie. Never have enough money to make a movie. But some way, somehow, they always find a way to do it, or most of the times. So I think it was worth talking about it. I think it was worth letting you know what I got out of just that little piece of wise words from this international film director, and I hope it helps you. It makes you and at least gets you thinking about, okay, let's expand this view that we have of ourselves and our future. Okay, well, I hope you like it, guys. Give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.